Now that the report of the findings of the Commission of Inquiry into the events of the 2020 general and regional elections has been handed over, let's discuss the findings. To many, some of what the Commission of Inquiry found may not be surprising. Over the 5 months from Elections Day on March 2nd to the swearing in of the new president on August 2nd, 2020, there was comprehensive coverage of what unfolded. The open, daring attempt to subvert democracy in this country and deny Guyanese their constitutional right to choose a government of their choice. So what did the Commission of Inquiry find? It found that there were shockingly brazen attempts by Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowenfield, Deputy Chief Elections Officer Roxanne and Returning Officer Clairmont Mingo to derail and corrupt the statutorily prescribed procedure for the counting, ascertaining, and tabulation of results of the March 2nd elections, as well as the true declaration of the results of that election, and that they did so to put it in unvarnished language of the ordinary man for the purpose of stealing the election. The Commission used very strong, definitive language in their findings. They described what happened as a sad and shameful chapter in the electoral history of Guyana, in which the integrity of and trust in the electoral system of Guyana was undermined and temporarily overthrown by the shenanigans of election officials at the highest level of the system. A number of persons were summoned to give evidence before the Commission. Of those called, 13 invoked their right to remain silent or not to incriminate themselves, or otherwise declined to provide any evidence to the Commission. 26 witnesses provided evidence to the Commission via witness statements, some of which included documentary, photographic, and video exhibits, and through oral testimony to the Commission. Some of these witnesses were cross-examined by counsel representing individuals against whom adverse statements had been made in the testimony given to the Commission. After 3 months of intermittent sittings, the Commission said that they were able to gather sufficient credible evidence to make significant findings of fact. And to emphasize, what they found was that there was a conscious and deliberate, even brazen effort to violate the provisions of Section 84(1) of the ROPA being the Representation of the People Act, the main law governing the conduct of elections in Guyana. As a reminder, the process to derail the elections was concentrated in District 4 or Region 4, the largest electoral district. Instead of using the statements of poll from the region, which contained the vote count of each polling place to tabulate the total votes for the region, at an early stage, a spreadsheet with alternative numbers were being used. The fictional numbers, if added up, would have given the governing APNU plus AFC at the time victory at the polls. A vote recount later proved that the numbers were fudged and that the real winner of the elections was the PPP and that Dr. Irfan Ali needed to be sworn in as president. The Commission of Inquiry determined that by doing what they did to rig the elections, certain senior GCOM officials abandoned all need for neutrality and impartiality and demonstrated a bias for a competing political party, and in the course of events over those days showed an open connection with that party and by their efforts sought a desired result for that party. After careful consideration and analysis of the evidence before us, the Commission said it was their considered view that CEO Mr. Keith Lowenfield, the DCEO Ms. Roxanne and the Returning Officer Clairmont Mingo were principally responsible for the clear and deliberate attempts to frustrate, obstruct, and subvert the ascertainment of votes in Electoral District Number 4. The inquiry found that the DCEO, in most of her interactions with party agents, appeared unhelpful and carried a hostile and abrasive bearing evident in the video footage placed in evidence. As an example, the report cited that on the occasion of a report of a bomb being placed in Ashman's building, she told party agents, observers, and diplomats to get out of the room. There was a bomb in the building, but she never left the building herself. Regarding the first declaration made by Returning Officer Clairmont Mingo at the Ashman's building on March 5th, the inquiry found that there appeared to be such collusion and collaboration between senior GCOM officials as to likely amount to a conspiracy to make what was undoubtedly a premature and unlawful declaration of falsified results, which showed the APNU plus AFC party as the winner of Electoral District Number 4. This, the Commission said it believed, was the ultimate goal of the CEO, the DCU, and the RO. The collusion and collaboration between these senior officials of GECOM was evident at the time of the declaration itself, the report found. While the RO was making the declaration, the DCU was looking on from the floor above. At that time, she knew or ought to have known that the RO's spreadsheet was not a true record of the total votes cast for electoral district number 4. Regarding Mingo's second declaration on March 13, the inquiry found a disturbing occurrence which suggests collusion and collaboration with APNU plus AFC party representative Ms. Carol Joseph. The Commission found no requirement as a matter of law for any political party agent to sign the form that was to be transmitted to the CEO. The Commission therefore concluded that permitting the signature of the APNU plus AFC agent Carol Joseph was an effort by the RO to legitimize his highly unlawful conduct, and that it represented an endorsement by the APNU plus AFC party of the RO's unjustified and wrongful declaration of their victory in electoral district number 4. Regarding the Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowenfield, the Commission found that he engaged in a brazen attempt to prevent GECOM from declaring the true results of the elections of March 2nd. The Commission borrowed the words of the former Jamaican Prime Minister Bruce Golding in calling Lowenfield's conduct a transparent attempt to alter the results of an election. The Commission found that despite the ruling of the Caribbean Court of Justice, Mr. Lowenfield willfully, deliberately, and perversely persisted in basing his report to GECOM on the doctored report from Region 4 instead of the results of a vote recount. The Commission found that the conduct and actions of CEO Lowenfield in relation to the discharge of his statutory duties prescribed by law were a brazen attempt to prevent GECOM declaring the true results of the elections of March 2nd, 2020. As the Chief Election Officer of Guyana, his conduct dealt a deep, pernicious blow to the integrity of Guyana's electoral system and cherished democratic values, and must justly and forcefully be condemned as the ultimate betrayal of trust reposed in the highest election official in the land by the people of Guyana, the report stated. As I mentioned at the outset, the findings are no great surprise, but the Commission used the strong, deliberate language it needed to use to define what really took place from March 2nd to August 2nd, 2020. We'll bring to you further details about what the Commissioners have recommended going forward. Reporting for the newsroom, I'm Neil Marks.